Okay, guys, so let's do a short tutorial on how to create your first campaign in Dapta. Now, a prerequisite for creating a campaign is you're going to want to have some agents set up, or at least one agent. So you can see here, if I go under my voice agents, I have 3 agents that I have previously set up, and these will be used in the campaign. Now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into creating a campaign. I'm just going to go down here on my main menu. I'm going to hit campaign. Main page, you're going to see that I have no previously set up campaigns in this list, but if you do, they will be shown here. You can search through them, order them. But for the purpose of this tutorial, let's go into create a campaign here on the right-hand corner. So hit this button. And this is going to take us to 4 steps to create your first campaign. So here we can set up a campaign name, an objective, and what agent we want to use in our campaign. So here I'll do solar, let's do qualify solar lead, something like that. We'll just have a mock campaign name. And I can use a campaign objective. I have one that I previously set up here. And so here we can look at it. Automatically call newly added homeowners for our CRM to qualify their interest in solar panel installation. The voice agent will introduce the service, ask a few qualifying questions, and tag each lead based on their level of interest. So that looks pretty good to me. Let's go pick an agent now. So here I can choose from the 3 agents that I've previously set up. We'll use Brian, lead qualification call, and then we'll go ahead here and hit save and continue. So here's an important step, and that's going to be importing a file. So when you're importing your data, you're going to choose from a few different file types. If you use Google Sheets, you're going to want to export it as a CSV or .xlsx before uploading. So there's only one required field. You're going to want to have a contact phone number. This is the number that your voice agent will call. And then there's a few phone number requirements. You're going to want to make sure that your document is set up correctly. We need to be in E164 international format. So that's going to be a 1 before the number. So that'll be your international country code. And then the number with no spaces between. That's really important, or you run into errors later. Inside the docs, we have a section, a subpage of this doc. It's called importing data, and that will give you good guidance on how to properly format your doc and import it. So this is my mock lead list with fake names. We'll hit continue when we are ready. So here's where you're going to map your properties from the doc that you uploaded. So these are the properties in the Dapta CRM, phone numbers required. So here it's going to analyze the columns in your file. So we're going to want to map these properly. So say our phone number is right here. We're going to look for contact phone, contact name. We can map to contact name. So here we can go ahead and add properties. So we have, let's see, agent name inside. So we can go ahead and find agent name. Let's add another property. We can do company name, and I'll find company name here. And then if we want to add a custom property, we can do that here by filling out this modal and hitting add property, but we don't need to do that in this tutorial, but that's there if you need it. And it looks like we ran into a few errors, and that was on purpose. So here you can see that sometimes the number in my file wasn't formatted. This goes back to having that international country code. In America, it is a 1 followed by the number with no spaces. Now, in this case, you can go ahead and still create the campaign. It's analyzed the file, but it's found errors in the phone number. It's going to go ahead and skip these in the campaign. So normally what you'd want to do if you want to correct that is you just go back a few times and re-upload the file. So that's good information to know, but you can move forward and go ahead and create your campaign with the errors, but it's letting you know that they are there. So now we've reached the final step to configure your campaign. Once you've addressed all the errors or you've decided to just skip and keep going, you can choose a new start date. So we'll just leave this start date as today's start date. We're going to need an end date. We'll have this run, say, through the 21st. So we'll just run this a day. Calling, we can choose every day, weekdays, or custom, and you can map out the days that you actually want to initiate the calls. Now, this is really cool. We have a max attempt per contact. So we can actually lower that, say, 3 times. And then how many times a day do you want them to be called if they do not answer the phone? And so we can put that as the 3. Time zone, America, Phoenix, that's where I'm located. Also, we have the calling days set up as custom, so we're going to have to choose which days we want to call. We'll choose Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then now we can define the call schedule. So what time during those days do you want the calls to be made? And here we'll do PM, and let's go 6 o'clock. So we could do between 8 and 6 on these days right here. And now we'll go ahead and conclude creating the first campaign. So we'll hit finish. And we now have successfully created our first campaign. Now here you can make any adjustments to the campaign. You can look at the call logs once the campaign is initiated. Now here we can see the contact list inside the campaign. Now I had a small list and some of them had errors in the phone number formatting. So it looks like it only took one of the contacts, but that's fine. So here we can view the metrics of the campaign. Now my campaign hasn't been initiated yet, so I'm not going to see any metrics. Here we can see a more realistic view of what that chart might look like. So it looks like we've used 999 credits. You can see all the data here. Here's the contact funnel. And here's a chart analysis of the calls made. We can toggle these on and off to view the data that we want. Now, if you go back to your campaigns tab right here, you're going to see your campaign. I've actually paused my campaign. So you can initiate your campaign and leave it running. If you want to pause it for any reason, you can toggle this button here and that will pause your campaign. Now, this is going to have some quick information about your campaign as well as actions. So you can edit, duplicate, delete. But I wanted to show you right here that you can pause your campaign or keep it active by toggling this button here. Really not much else to it. It's really easy to create your first campaign in Dapta. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you, and I'll catch you on the next one.